It will forever haunt me that Ajika was shot through a closed, locked, bolted metal door after knocking for just a few seconds. This documentary tore me apart, especially the interrogation. Susan couldn't get her story straight from the beginning. She first says that Ajika was knocking for seconds, then she says minutes. And then later in the interrogation, she says, I don't even know how long it was. It was just bang, bang, bang. And she just looks terrible. Like, you're telling me someone's gonna knock on your door and then after a few seconds you're going to shoot them? Susan had even replied, she said, I'm not going to speak to you. Okay, girl, but you're gonna shoot her seconds later? And then she has the nerve to tell the police if she had a problem, she could have called you guys. And you know, she's telling them this during her investigation for murder. And remember, the police had told Susan that they were on her way not 1 minute before she shot Ajika. Like, it's just so incredibly ridiculous that she thinks anyone is buying this. She keeps switching things up the entire interrogation. She says that Ajika is pounding on the door for an extended period of time, between 20 to 30 seconds. That is literally the quote. Like, I could listen to a song and the woman would have been done knocking at the door. It's just a ridiculous statement. That is not an extended period of time. Not that I trust any of her time analysis. And then she says that she was frightened, so she went to go wash her hands because she didn't know who was at the door. But what do you mean you didn't know who was at the door? You just spoke to the woman who is your neighbor, who you are constantly calling the police on. You were talking to her through the door. You had a conversation. After you called her children slurs, you knew who you were talking to. She just did not have to blindly shoot and end this woman in front of her child too. Especially after the police had already said that they were on her way. And I'm gonna make a video about the timeline right after this, because it's just ridiculous. There's so much to say about this. I really believe, and I think everybody can agree with me on this, that this was a racially motivated crime. The way that she had no remorse for calling the kids slurs, and for her just villainizing this woman after she knew she was not alive anymore, and not seeing anything wrong with her actions, and not claiming to. She didn't even like apologize once, even while she's trying to save her own self. The Perfect Neighbor was infuriating. The next video is already up, and I just feel so sad for Ajika's whole family. This was so unnecessary.